Hello there and welcome back to Music That Doesn't Suck, the place where we talk about music that is actually mildly annoying, or actually not actually mildly annoying, actually good. And today, for a change, because I don't know what you, but I'm up to here with the terrible music that is blasted to us every single freaking day of the week. And today we're going to be having this discussion about something that I consider to be kind of a very hot topic.
Is it?
At least for me. Because being a rock and roller myself and a metalhead, I had dealt with this discussion several times in my life. First and foremost, metal is basically the natural progression of the European tradition in music. Think about it. It has plenty of elements from classical music that allow the genre to become what it is. So, using that as a starting point or as a premise, plenty of people have told me that the obvious, natural, and biggest and highest expression of metal music is by having an orchestra playing alongside the band. And I happen to be in total. I don't approve that message.
Don't you?
No, I don't. I think it's usually it usually fails. It usually falls flat on the premise because on paper it sounds amazing, but in execution is sometimes, most of the times, almost every time, kind of disappointing.
Yeah, I think we can try to derive at that conclusion throughout the episode as we analyze some instances of it done correctly or incorrectly.
Yeah.
Because in rock music there's no shortage of attempts in making this work.
Yeah.
Some more successful than others. We'll see as the conversation progresses who actually did it right.
Yes. So, should we begin?
No.
Okay, why not?
What's today's mix?
Today's mix, we're actually drinking a favorite of mine. This is a daiquiri, but this is not a regular daiquiri. This is Blackbird daiquiri. It uses dark rum and Angostura. So it's actually 3/4 of lime. Lime, not lemon, very important, because lime is a little bit more bitter. So you need that, and also 3/4 of what's the name of this guy? Sugar syrup. 2 dashes of Angostura, and the rum. Okay. And it's actually very good. Sensei. Yes, very good.
It is.
Way too good. Okay, so what will be your first statement regarding this particular conversation?
So look, you already gave your opening statement, which is almost a conclusive, but I think I disagree to some degree. There are plenty of cases to prove me wrong as well, but I think it can be done very well. I think when properly integrated within a rock ensemble, an orchestra can be an enhancer to the experience. Because now, even looking at it from an orchestration point of view, the textures, the sounds that are provided by the orchestra can be very complementary to those of a rock and roll ensemble.
Yeah.
Let's say just one band that actually has a classical instrument as part of their ensemble, Kansas, for instance.
Yes.
We can start the conversation there.
Yeah.
They have a very good integration of the violin, for instance.
Yeah, but it has nothing to do with classical approach.
No, it doesn't. I'm just talking about bringing those textures that are not usually part of the rock and roll sound.
You know why? It doesn't work.
Well, Kansas is showing us that it can work.
No, it can work the way Kansas does it. But how many other attempts have you seen on which they try to integrate something classical for it to fall flat on its face? It's very common for it to happen. Because, for example, think in terms of when the whole craze during the mid-2000s with symphonic metal.
Yeah.
And the whole thing with adding sopranos to everything. Every metal band wanted to have a girl singing like, oh! Does it work? Or
it works at
no,
times.
wait. Or could it be that Nightwish does it well?
Nightwish does it well. But
it's
works,
very different, right?
But it works as well.
But it works because Nightwish does it in a way that makes sense. Then you also got Epica. She's gorgeous.
Yeah, she is. But it has always been the same singer. I think it changed, right?
No, it's always been her.
Yeah?
Yes.
I know, I'm thinking Nightwish.
Nightwish is the one that has swapped like 3 times.
Yeah.
Also, you got Arch Enemy. Those are kind of the quintessential bands with those
Symphonic metal. Well.
no soprano elements, because they're not symphonic metal. But the only one is Nightwish. You got the other guys are more closer to symphonic death metal rather than symphonic metal. Big distinction, because Arch Enemy and Epica have good role singing, and it's half and half.
Yeah.
While Nightwish is full on Tarja.
Yeah, doing her thing.
And the thing is that I don't have issues with that style of singing or that incorporation of elements from a more classical background. The issue is that it only works when it's done in the right way. And what's the right way? Very few examples. And I gave you some, because during that period, everybody was trying to do a symphonic metal band, at least in my area, man, when I was a kid, because everybody wanted to, like, that whole thing with the Beauty and the Beast stuff.
Yeah, how many of them worked?
None.
None?
None.
Not even one?
None, man. None. And I know that this is anecdotal evidence, but no, never worked, because the same happened with incorporating violins as well. Because at that period of time, we also got the success of Apocalyptica, and it's good, but only when they do it, because you saw plenty of other attempts at bringing in not only cellos but that kind of approach to metal songwriting.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, we saw quite a lot of them. I think there were some that kind of worked. The obvious picks, the ones you pointed out already, are the ones that did it best. But I don't think it's a failed...
I would say best. They did it right.
Yeah, they did it best because they did it right.
No, because when you say that they did it best, that means that there were lesser attempts. No, that's good. But when you say that they did it right,
I say there is distinction.
That's the ones.
Yeah.
Those are the ones, sorry.
But then, you think that it can be done correctly?
It can.
Okay.
By very few.
But what is then the criteria? What makes it done correctly?
That's a big question. I don't know. I truly don't know. Because I can see why Nightwish became so successful. And it's not because they were the first one to have someone singing like that. Probably they weren't. Who cares? They did it right. They did it in a way that it's super musical. It's unique to them. Because the issue is that after Nightwish, every time that you see another band with a female vocalist singing similarly to her, or in a classically trained style,
feels like a copycat.
Feels like that.
Yeah.
And it feels forced. And also the sound for theatrical singing, such as that one, to work in a rock environment, it has to go plenty cheesy in the harmony department, in the way that the music is designed, right?
Yeah.
That's why you happen to pam 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 pam.
And also the operatic elements that need to be there for it to make sense, the context.
Exactly. But the problem is when every band has to do that, do they sound interesting anymore? They become boring, man. That's my problem.
Think of, for me, the only, or at least the best instance of opera rock, Meatloaf.
But that's musical, man. The whole concept with opera rock is ridiculous. Opera is Turandot. How can you compare the singing, the style, the whole proposition to something like Bad Out of Hell? There is no correlation.
There are elements. It's not about making it.
No, there is no element from opera there, man. Because when you go when you spend a night at the opera,
which has way less opera than
has way less orchestral stuff.
Yeah.
Meatloaf is musical theater. It's not opera. There is a big distinction between musical theater and opera, man. Because in Meatloaf is rock music, man. And the way that they are singing is very, very rock oriented.
Yeah.
Opera is full on based on the performative aspect of the singers. It's a particular sound. And Nightwish is the closest to that by incorporating the stylistic techniques for the singing outside of opera. That's the closest, man. Because Meatloaf is musical theater. Being frank, is like West Side Story.
So you think like that Meatloaf, that Nightwish fits better the category of opera rock than Meatloaf?
No, is that Nightwish is closer. By if we are strictly using the proper definition.
Yeah.
Because Meatloaf is closer to West Side Story or freaking Jesus Christ Superstar 3000.
Yeah.
That's not opera, man, but that's a freaking theatrical, musical theater, and it has its place.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Because even the music used on those is rock music.
Yeah, it is.
For those, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, well, Meatloaf uses quite a lot of classical elements in his compositions. I wouldn't say that it's full orchestral music because it isn't. It's rock and roll first, but there is classical.
I don't think so, man.
Well,
I don't think so because the way that he writes his pieces is not. He used to write his pieces mostly rock music.
no, it's rock music first.
Yeah, but I don't see heavy influences from classical. Being very frank, because even the way he sings is clearly theatrical. It's not operatic. Yeah, and in contrast, Nightwish, the arrangements super orchestral.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The singing full on operatic. And I happen to be a fan of Meatloaf, and I'm not necessarily that fond of Nightwish. Here's respect, but it's not my jam. But I'm trying to be fair. Tough, but fair.
Nightwish, I suppose they have at times, I'm not so versed in Nightwish, played with a full-on orchestra. Because they don't play with full orchestra.
No, it's because it's very, very expensive, man.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff they do is with the keyboard. It was one of those, at that point, I even think that it has to deal plenty with the technology, man. Because in the early 2000s, it's when keyboards started to be more affordable and also presenting less terrible sounds. So plenty of the music, plenty of the sound coming out of Nightwish is the keyboard. I think the keyboard player is the leader of the band. He's the main composer and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't remember the name, but I am almost this close to be sure. And the music is very, very driven by that kind of bombastic sound.
Yeah.
And you can see how even the composition is pushed forward by the keyboard, don't you think?
It is 100%. But I do agree with what you said of the technology being one of the reasons why we saw a boom in that kind of music. Because imagine, let's say, on the 70s, to actually write music in this way, having classical elements or orchestral elements as part of the composition, you needed the actual orchestra.
Yeah, you needed to be the Beatles.
Yeah, and who else could do it at the time?
I don't think. Yeah, because the closest you got was quartets, because a string quartet. We were recording the strings a few hours ago, so that's not a big deal.
It's part of the reason why we decided to go for this team.
Yeah, actually. So look, we're already in the mood.
Yeah.
But it's easier to have access to a string quartet that already gives you that regal sound. I don't know what.
Let's call it a classical element.
Yeah, because it's much more of a sophisticated tone to music. Because even the way that you have to produce the pieces for the melodies and the parts for those instruments when dealing with a more contemporary arrangement, for it to fit, you have to do some things for them not to clash. Because you got examples such as the one that I always bring up. Metallica and the symphonic from San Francisco Symphonic. That sucks. It's a very disappointing album because the symphonic is fantastic and Metallica is getting in their way. And look, Metallica is playing at their best of their game, being very frank. The issues that the arrangements, the way that the orchestra was developed, and even the decision making behind the whole arrangement behind the tracks. It's way too much orchestra, man. And it's lack of vision. And probably that's the reason why, being the first album I ever bought as a kid, that's probably the reason why I have this kind of very skeptical approach to the whole thing. Because I first listened to the orchestral takes on the original songs of Metallica's music, and then I got later one by one the rest of their albums. Man, I can't believe that the one with the orchestra sucks compared to the original. And the original is just 4 guys.
Yeah.
And depending on from which album you're drawing the music from, it sounds less terrible. Until, of course, the Black Album. But you get what I mean?
Yeah, no.
And as a kid, being able to be like, this is better, this feels better. The other one feels convoluted. Feels self-indulgent. I didn't even know what those words meant. back then.
But
I felt like
yeah.
that, man. Especially Fuel. Think Fuel.
It didn't work. Yeah,
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't work.
It's horrible.
But look, I would say that is a stretch, or it's a little bit too harsh to say that it sucks the whole show. I think it's a good show. I imagine that being there probably was a good experience. A lot of the songs, the integration of the orchestra was not correct. I do agree there was too much orchestra, and they clashed. Rather than the orchestra enhancing Metallica, they were kind of fighting for space.
Yeah.
And it does feel like that on many points of the whole show. But I don't think it was the whole thing. I think there are some songs that actually worked.
Of course, but the thing is that it's a double album.
Mm-hmm.
So the concert was probably 3 hours long.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that No Leaf Clover, which is I think a song that was released for that particular recording, is fantastic.
Yeah.
Also Bleeding Me, which I also think is another track. I might be wrong. This one I'm not necessarily convinced. But those two songs are fantastic in that album.
Yeah.
But
they were reading with that intent, right? No Leaf Clover was...
Yeah, it's clearly this. It was written for that moment.
Yeah.
And it works beautifully.
Yeah.
But then you got the rendition of Master of Puppets.
Mm-hmm.
No. And it was the one that would have been the perfect fit for it.
Yeah, I agree.
But it feels bombastic, but overly bombastic.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Call of Cthulhu. I think that's the one that they did it right. Out of the old stuff.
I actually like Master of Puppets, being quite honest.
I don't like them because just the middle section is the one that works.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's obviously clearly orchestral inspired.
Yeah.
But when the heavy section, bang, bam, 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 that sucks. And if you think about, if you truly think about it, 70% of the track is that.
Mm-hmm. And even at the core, not even thinking of percentage, but the core of the track really is that.
Yeah, so it doesn't work, man. Because if the best part is just 30%, no.
Yeah.
And being honest, when they go the master, it feels wimpy because the orchestra is so big.
Yeah, it feels kind of small compared to it. Yeah.
It feels like, what are you, teenagers or what?
Because look, one of the songs I usually brought to the conversation whenever we talk about this is One. And actually, I think that the version of One coming from that performance is kind of lame.
Man,
I don't like
One is not necessarily a great, super opinion, okay? They have better music than One.
Mm-hmm.
One is not a bad track, but I don't think it's their best. I think it's very much astroturfed by the fan base. But it's for each his own. I'm not gonna try to convince anybody that One is a bad track. No, I simply happen not to be that big of a fan of the song.
Mm-hmm.
And One is probably one of the worst in that album.
Yeah.
Falls flat.
Yeah.
Because they try to make it even more epic.
Yeah. Yeah. It feels try-hardy. Yeah.
And that's how I summarize that entire album.
I don't think the whole thing.
I mean, which songs? 3-hour show.
Yeah,
we have only praised 2 songs. And I have listened to the album since I was a kid, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Metallica. Mm-hmm. So nah, I'm being tough but fair, man. So yeah. Then you got the one with the Scorpions.
Mm-hmm.
That's less terrible. But a little bit. Look. It's a little bit underwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
Because Scorpions, they have a little bit more range than Metallica. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that Metallica is an inferior band due to that. No, of course not. The thing is that their style allows for a little bit more mellower stuff that Metallica also does, but not that often. Yeah. And Scorpions tends to do it better and more consistently.
Yeah, even thinking of the ballads for instance.
That alone. Dustin, not Dustin, the other one, the one in the Wind.
Wind of Change.
That one.
Yeah, very good ballad.
Yeah, it's a fantastic song.
Yeah.
Kind of cheesy and overplayed and tiresome, but it's a good song.
It's very cheesy.
Super cheesy.
But it's awesome. It's very
it's
good.
A beautiful song.
It's a non-skipper.
Yeah, it is because you're like, oh no, let it roll. Yeah.
You'll see with the whistling.
Yeah. Like, well, let it roll then. Yeah. I was expecting a little bit more out of that one.
I think they delivered.
Yeah, but probably because I saw it after I watched first the one with Dream Theater. That's, in my opinion, that one and the one with Jess, the only ones that worked.
I think Jess probably one of the best proponents when it comes to...
Well, the thing is that Jess music is so real. Like, I can imagine the guy like... Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I think we can get further into yes later, but I do think it's one of the best examples for this. But
Yeah, Dream Theater
Yeah.
is the one that it set the gold standard for me when it comes to the application or integration of an orchestra in a live show, because there are plenty of great, beautiful songs. The one that comes to mind right now is Silent Lucidity by Queensryche.
Yeah.
And do you know who happens to be the composer for the arrangement? Michael Kamen, the same guy behind the one from Metallica.
For real?
Yes. So
Doesn't show.
that guy is great. No, that guy is a fantastic musician. I have heard some of his other stuff.
Yeah.
He has done a soundtrack for video games. I think I remember. I think it was a Medal of Honor game. His soundtracks are insane, man. That guy's great. That's why I remember the name, because it's Queensryche. And then okay, so wow, Metallica.
But look,
It's the music.
one thing that Dream Theater did super right, which is probably one of the biggest points that can be one of the determining factors of why it would work or not bringing an orchestral element to rock music, is having rock ahead. Is having the original ensemble of the band being at the core still, being at the forefront, and the orchestra kind of adding a little bit of extra or a different flair to it from the backdrop. Dream Theater always feels at the front.
Yes, but let's. I'm gonna use what you just said as a segue, because it's very much related to what you're saying. How important it is for the music produced by the band to have already orchestral sensibilities in mind, because think in terms of Camel. That would be perfect for an orchestra.
Yeah.
Because the music is already, well, they are symphonic progressive metal, progressive rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, symphonic. Yeah, it is. Beautiful music, and it makes sense for orchestral elements. They have quite often flutes, for example, in their compositions.
Yeah.
And it makes total sense. The same what happens with Jethro Tull. But Jethro Tull wouldn't be a good band with an orchestra.
No, I don't think so.
Because the music is mostly designed to be effective in the confinement, or in the confines of the rock band.
Like Genesis as well, I don't think it would work well with an orchestra.
Depending on which album. I get you. I get you, and I agree. I would only be very conscious on which songs.
Yeah.
For example, Catchers in the Sky, or what's the name of that one? Watchers in the Sky. Watchers in the Sky. That would be fantastic. The intro.
Okay, that could be cool, yeah.
They have plenty of beautiful songs that could were probably designed to be worked with an orchestra, but they used a mellotron instead. Obviously, you can't go prog without a mellotron. That's a fact of life. Speaking of facts of life, prog, King Crimson, impossible.
What, to work with an orchestra?
Yeah, nah.
It's what you
No,
all over the place.
No, and look, we're picking some of the best bands ever, from all of the perspectives possible, because we're talking about bands comprised of fantastic musicians, some of the top of their generation.
Yeah.
When it came to the control of their instrument, mastery over their instruments. And King Crimson is not a band that I would like to hear with an orchestra.
It could be an interesting experience because they're nuts. But first of all, their music is extremely
King
expensive.
Crimson is already a very interesting experience.
Yeah, because look, if they can bring three drums sets on stage, they can probably make it work with an orchestra.
But you know why they can pull it off? Because it's in the name, King Crimson. They have the brand recognition for them to be to pull it off, because it makes no sense. It makes no sense. And having three insanely powerful drummers, and I couldn't find a better word to describe them. It's just great.
Yeah.
Just to do the same.
I think they're kind of answering to each other at some point.
Times, because it will be tight, man. One time is amazing.
Yeah.
2 times like, okay, that's a shelf trend. The 3rd time, I know you're good.
We're going a whole concert, a drum
2
off.
hours and a half of this, man.
Yeah.
It's a gimmick.
Yeah.
It stops being fun. Damn.
Look at that.
Look at that. It stopped being interesting and good. So sorry about that. Yeah. So that's a band that I wouldn't like to see with an orchestra. But yes, works.
And it worked. Not only worked, it worked. They showed us. They showed the world how to do it.
Yeah, but when you listen to that album, do you feel any different? any form of difference, sorry?
But I think that's exactly the point.
That's what I'm trying to take you to.
It doesn't feel like yes with an orchestra.
No, it's
It feels
the final form of those songs.
yeah.
Why? Because the songs were really like that. They remain the same. Get it? Led Zeppelin.
With orchestra?
That could be interesting. Look.
Hmm.
My first instinct tells me it gotta suck. Bad. Bad. Then I think of the Rain song.
Mm-hmm.
Kashmir.
But look, the thing is that I feel that some specific songs by Led Zeppelin could work wonderfully.
Yeah, but
I
not
think
the
it's,
rest.
but it's a slim portion of their whole catalog.
Because if they were to play rock and roll, that gotta
That'll be awful.
suck.
That'll
man.
be awful.
It's gonna feel forced.
Yeah.
But,
It's not gonna like Fuel.
yeah,
Because-
it's as bad as Fuel. Get it? Yeah, exactly, man.
Yeah. It
But
doesn't
Kashmir
work.
works,
Yeah.
of
Course
course.
you haven't. Yes.
Yeah.
Less than the Ray song, but yes.
The Rain song is better.
Yeah. It is.
Factual. Yes, that's not even a topic for discussion. It's a fact. Also, no choir, man.
Because for instance, but the thing is, even though I love when Led Zeppelin go proggier, I actually think that their best stuff is when they go rock, like badass and fun, like the Immigrant Song, for instance.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine the Immigrant Song with orchestra. It'd be awful. It wouldn't work.
Yeah, try to imagine it.
Yeah, no.
No,
it wouldn't work.
No, it would be no. Yeah.
Because imagine the strings doing the yeah,
Yeah.
but it will feel super forced.
Yes, because it will feel so pristine, so
Yeah.
so clean. No,
Yeah.
no, so sophisticated.
Yeah.
It's meant to be raw.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, it would lose. It would defeat the purpose of the song.
But no quarter.
No quarter could
Would work.
be cool.
That would be like, like
Yeah.
yeah. That would work.
Yeah.
I see that one being.
But you
That
know
would work.
what would be awesome? Like let's say an EP-like ensemble or collective of songs by Led Zeppelin with just the ones that would work, but a full concert, probably half the concert will be bad.
Got you.
Yeah, I don't think they could pull off
It's very difficult. Yeah.
a whole concert being good
Yeah.
with the integration with the
Yeah,
orchestra.
but second is one that could work potentially, but not an entire concert.
The Who, because actually the Who
has one.
has one exactly. But what do you think of the? Because that's
That one is Quadrophenia.
Quadrophony, yes.
That's a
It's
great
very
album.
good. The fantastic album.
And the Who's the Who.
Yeah.
The thing is that the Who, they changed.
Also treated as opera rock, but
But my ass, that one, that's even less opera, man.
yeah.
And that and Tommy, how?
No, Tommy. I know Tommy's the one that's actually.
Tommy's the one. Yeah, but
opera rock.
Quadrophenia is their conceptual album.
I even think it's probably one off or perhaps their best album.
I
But for
think
instance-
Quadrophenia is their best.
Yes.
And
fantastic.
Rain on Me, that already has.
Yeah.
That album, if they play it live like that, orchestra.
But it's interesting that for instance, the Who, for some reason, works better with the idea of an orchestra.
The thing is that the Who changed dramatically, man, with time. Because if you listen to My Generation, it's like a heavier rendition of the Beatles. It's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
It has that.
But it has no place for an orchestra there.
Nah.
It will make no sense.
But then you move over to Pinball Wizard. I don't know what that is. It's badass.
It's awesome.
It's fantastic, man. Because the guitar, that was awesome, man.
Yeah.
And the Pinball Wizard, that goes a bit to that Beatles kind of rock and rollish slash British invasion sound, but heavier. And then if you think of Who's Next, the album,
Yeah.
that's the push forward.
The Who actually evolved quite a lot as a band.
And super
And super quickly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
super quickly. Because the Who on the original ensemble existed for a very short period of time, wasn't it?
Who was always the Who?
Huh?
The Who never changed.
No, but it was like short-lived.
Yeah, the
Right.
band itself didn't
Yeah.
last that long. Bad. God damn, that's talent, man.
Yeah.
Because think of just compare those albums, My Generation versus Who's Next. I think the difference is like 5-6 years, man.
It feels like a
A
lifetime.
decade,
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
Who's Next, even though it's an already very highly choreographed, beautifully produced album, I wouldn't say that it's a good pick for the orchestra, but it has plenty of songs that could work.
Yeah.
Because think of Babel O'Reilly. bam, bam. That would work beautifully with orchestra, man.
That would be awesome. Imagine even opening with that, like a show opening with that in a.
I wouldn't open with that one because it's way too good, man.
That it sets already the bar that high.
You're already shooting yourself on the foot, man, because even though it might be, look at that.
Yeah. But imagine the curtains open.
What's next?
No, but yeah.
Do
you think that the Who's catalog can deliver? I don't think the show would be underwhelming.
But you wouldn't. But it's one of the best songs they got, man. It has played because it has energy. It has this feel of remembering past memories or whatever.
Yeah.
In a nostalgic yet optimistic fashion.
Yeah. I actually think that the Who could pull off a whole show without any letdowns.
Yeah.
Without, of course, with the proper pick of the set list.
Yeah, the set list should be very, but it's possible because even we won't get fooled again.
It could work.
Yeah. On the. Oh yes.
Because look, the Who, and I'll even use this as a hook for a different part of this conversation. The Who, their personalities, their stage presence, their show is so big that they could never even fall behind the orchestra.
The orchestra will look tiny.
Yes, exactly. It's impossible for them to feel small, even if the orchestra is doing something absurd.
Yes.
Like it happened, for instance, with Metallica. And it's not like Metallica doesn't have a huge stage presence, because they do. But you know what I mean, right? It felt like the orchestra was kind of overshadowing them. Yep. I don't see the possibility of that happening with the Who.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Because the Who, I think it's the music, man. Because Metallica's music is much more, how can I put it? It's way too visceral.
Yeah.
And orchestral music is not visceral, necessarily speaking. It can go there.
Yeah.
The thing is that when they go there, they are scary. And if you think metal is evil sounding, no, man. Orchestral is very, very tough to listen to when it goes those
places. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think is mostly a derivative of the band, no, of the music rather than the band, because Metallica is a fantastic band. And their compositions have plenty of, at least the older stuff, has plenty of moments that could be very well done in orchestral environment, but the vast majority is not, man, because they're thrash metal. Iron Maiden, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Because their music, no, I don't know.
I think the music could allow for it.
Certain songs as well, but even those, Fear of the Dark, they have to play it. Is that when the Trooper and the Number of the Beast and Wasted Years? If they don't play those, the venue is burning.
Yeah.
For real. They are. Those are that important. Can you mind any of those with?
No,
because Fear of the Dark is the epic of the bunch, right? Is the one that possibly. But what happens when you go? When it go fast.
Because look, some stuff out of, let's say, the Seventh Son of Our Seventh Son, I think that album, most of it actually, could possibly work, or a good chunk of it.
I don't know, maybe out of the Sparrow's life.
Because it's one of the proggier albums, so to say.
Yeah, it is. It's my favorite, actually.
And I think the music is not less energetic, but it's more on the expensive side than it is on the ultra punchy side, which is most of their music. So I think that one could probably be pulled off with an orchestra.
I don't know, because the clarinet.
I think it could work. It could be interesting.
It's way too fast, man.
But it could be interesting.
With madness.
Yeah. That could be fun.
I don't know, man, because you need that thing.
But you can have it still.
No, but the thing is that it's the same what happens with Metallica. Too much. Because what makes it hit hard is the you feel the you feel the guitars and the bass, man. If you have more stuff going around it, it could be too much, man.
Look, I'm not 100% sold on the idea, but let's say Iron Maiden was promoting a tour with an orchestra doing Seventh Son or Seventh Son, I would go. If I would be disappointed, that's something that I would find out there, but I would definitely go, because there has potential.
Because look, in that, if I were to be the one making the arrangement, I wouldn't use the orchestra for most of the song, but I would use it on the choruses.
That can be fun.
There it will be fantastic.
Yeah.
But you save it only for those moments. And you quiet until when we have to, because when we come in, it's like, damn.
You know, one thing that I don't know exactly now from the composer perspective, you can let me know, you can tell me. I feel that people overuse the orchestras whenever they bring them in.
That's a problem.
Because this that you mentioned about, for instance, saving the orchestra for those specific moments, I don't see that done often. Usually the orchestra is playing for most of the time, and for most of the time they're actually in the way.
Yeah.
But if they were used just on the right spots, they could enhance certain sections of a track, for instance.
Totally.
The thing is that they paid for the whole 3 hours, they're gonna use the whole 3 hours.
Look, I think what happens is that it's like the dream of every musician to have the music that they wrote be performed at its fullest,
Yeah.
at its mightiest, loudest, bestest.
Yeah.
Horrible English.
The bestest ever.
The bestest ever. Yeah, the most, getting the most out of the possibilities that the song has to offer, right?
Yeah.
I think since it's extremely difficult for anybody to manage to reach a point in their lives on which you can actually have the band, the music,
Yeah.
the draw, plus the budget to hire
Especially the
40
budget.
sons of a gun that hates you because they want to be you, but they are them.
Yeah.
You're gonna get the most out of every penny, man.
Yeah.
Because I think it's mostly driven by the we got here, let's do it.
Yeah.
I don't care if it sucks,
First we do it.
we do it. Or being more pragmatic, most people in rock music don't have a musical training, and that's not incorrect, okay? But it helps in many ways. Something that I always propose and endorse. You should reach a point in your career that you should truly take theory super seriously, because it's gonna take you out of the noodling zone,
plateau.
the plateau that you already reached.
Yeah.
Some of those musicians think of Eddie Van Halen. I think he didn't know any,
Yeah.
because it's not needed. Everybody can understand music. I think that music theory allows for a better and faster ways to get to solutions to the musical problems you might be facing. But the most important one, I think this is the core, being able to communicate with other musicians without the need of using, after the thing, when you do this, and when you go pow pow, instead of in this quadrant, blah blah blah, you start to go straight to the point, and that allows you to communicate with musicians who are not guitar players or bass players or drummers.
Yeah.
Because among rock bands, is like, when you do this, I do that. Yeah.
I bring in the chaga chaga, and
Yeah.
you're gonna do the.
Yeah, and the band understands clearly.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's visceral, man. It's rock and roll is like this.
Yeah.
But try to do that with 40-something people.
Yeah.
It's impossible. It simply won't work, because I can assure you that when all the bag and all of those badasses were dealing with their quartets and stuff, they were like, yeah, like this. It was rock and roll. The thing is that when you bring in more people, you need to find the tools for communication. And I'm saying this because I think what happens is that, do you think Metallica has, any of them, at least in the early 2000s, had any form of training?
Don't think so.
No, I don't think so either, man.
Yeah.
Great musicians,
Yeah. Fantastic.
but they didn't have the tools to communicate with the rest of the orchestra.
Yeah.
So let's hire a composer and a director, and they're like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah. The problem.
Well, I'm gonna do what I can.
Yeah, because regardless of how good the guy is, and even you already mentioned the guy itself, he's great,
fantastic.
but he's not the guy with the vision for the music. He didn't write the songs. He didn't actually have that emotional drive that created those pieces. So he can only go so far.
Yeah, and not that many musicians have that vision, because this is devoid of talent. It's more of a skill, and it's kind of you can call it talent, right? But it's not a talent. It's not a deal breaker talent, because this is taking you closer to the position of a producer during the production of an album, and director of the songs and stuff. than the role of a musician. So a producer doesn't have to be a musician, but has to understand music and be almost as good as a musician when it comes to writing music.
Yeah.
But it's not a musician.
Mm-hmm.
A composer have to learn to play a piano at least, but not necessarily speaking have to be good at it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you always see them like this, because they are using different set of assets, musically speaking, that allows them to be a musician.
Yeah.
But it's a different set of tools.
Yeah.
And I think most rock bands are devoid of those.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they fall flat, man.
Yeah.
They have no control over, or and they don't have guidance. They don't give guidance to the composer.
Yeah.
Because Michael Kamen is a great composer, man.
Yeah.
But that show is not good, man.
Mm.
And I think it's bad communication.
But look, I even think that this is one of the reasons why there is even more correlation, and maybe some of the best instances that we saw of orchestral integration with rock music were done within prog rock, because the progressive rock musicians usually, even because of the expensiveness of the music and everything like that, they are a little bit more
They tend to be a little bit more educated.
educated. And don't think this is a criticism on everybody else, because talent is regardless of this.
That's
you can
right.
have the most talented musician with zero education, so it's beyond the point. But education play a role, especially on certain kinds of music.
Yeah.
And I think that progressive rock does use it quite a lot.
But now I'm gonna give you a counter argument to that.
Mm.
Pink Floyd and Orchestra won't work.
I
Won't.
Nah, I disagree.
Which song? Britney. No. No.
I think it can work.
No. That's a fanboy.
No,
speaking.
I do think it can work.
What makes Pink Floyd awesome? The atmosphere, right?
Yes.
Orchestras are not there for them to create atmospheres.
No, but look,
They are there to draw attention towards them.
depending on how
No,
it's
no, no,
done.
no, 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 no.
Look, the
You
har-
got pads and synthesizer for that.
but then they could play around with the whole notion of the pads and synthesizers, because there's quite a lot of interesting harmonies going on in Pink Floyd, usually played by pads and synthesizers.
It's soundscaping and it's effects.
Yeah.
It's probably just one note going through bazillions of effects, man.
Yeah.
Down in the studio, can you repeat it? No, I don't know what happened.
I'm lucky that I was recording this one.
Yeah. You should be happy that we recorded that one,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, man. Because replicate on the run.
No, look, but you're picking some songs that wouldn't
No,
make sense.
no. Echoes.
Echoes could be fun.
Yeah, try to do the. Ding. That was produced by Echoes. It begins with a very interesting sounding thing that kind of sounds like a piano,
It's kind of pingy.
but it's not a piano. It's a piano.
Yeah.
But what you actually listen to is not the piano per se. They recorded. They had a microphone on the piano, while Richard Wright was pressing the key,
Yeah.
and the recording, the microphone was then, whatever the microphone was captured, was sent into a guitar amplifier that was going through a series of effects that were recorded, and that's what ended up being the sound of the record.
Mm-hmm.
Try that with an orchestra.
But you don't need to do that.
No, you
can
need-
play other roles.
No, you need to do that. You can do that now easily. Samples. You ping, yeah, and you get the same sound produced in the same way,
Yeah.
giving the same feel and the same vibe. Because I'm speaking now from the perspective of a fan.
Mm-hmm.
Echoes is my favorite song by those Sons of a Whore. No, with all respect, but
Clearly.
clearly. So I wanted to play it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Don't try to be cute.
But look, think of the verses or whatever goes for verses on that song.
Yeah.
Imagine the bad of that, the harmony of that being played by like a string section, for instance. It could be cool.
No, it would ruin it.
Why?
It's minimalism. That song feels the way it does because it's echoes. You feel like, damn. If you have, yeah, it's no longer that personal.
Yeah.
No, man, it wouldn't work. Impossible. And the yeah, maybe there, but fuzz, and it gives you more grit.
Mm-hmm.
It's a band that wouldn't work, man. The Wall.
There's some stuff from the wall that could work.
Even The Wall has orchestra
Yeah.
in one song that the band doesn't play. Why? Because they knew. No, man, nah. Because at that point they had the beat.
Vera.
The Vera. It's
Yeah.
probably the best song of the album.
Yeah. Like a song.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah.
And but the two songs I look at them as one song. Bring the Boys Back Home. And
Yeah,
there's, yeah, that's a very good song, man. That's a great use of the strings.
But look, think on the whole Another Brick in the Wall suite. Thinking it's beginning from Thin Ice, the three parts of Another Brick in the Wall, and the other one that I forgot.
Yeah.
Even playing that as a suite with orchestra could be cool.
No. Think of the one that River knows. Part 2.
Yes.
What are you gonna do there? Nothing. It's gonna get in the way of the guitar.
Because look, it would work nicely on Thin Ice. Thin Ice could work.
Yeah, but that you got pads for that.
Because it's playing to the backdrop.
That's still you got the synths, man.
But it could be played by an orchestra.
Yeah, but the thing is that why would you do it if the synth does what it should do?
To deliver a different texture, a different experience.
Yeah, but that's not what you want. You want the piece. It's like, oh, let's go and listen to. I'm gonna use this example. Vivaldi in metal, cringe, right?
Yeah.
It's the same. It's the same. Get it? Because why would I listen to the Four Seasons by a metal band when I can listen to Real Deal? And it's it's because you're a close man. Nah, man, because it doesn't work. The guy wrote the piece based on the instruments.
Yeah.
The texture, the expressivity of those instruments.
Yeah.
And just because you want to be edgy and cringy, and like now you come to me with the katana and stuff. No, man. Yeah, the same happens, but it's the inverse to it. Because let's finally convince the world that we are not just peasants. Because that's also something that I think happens as well, man. Because most people in the rock, let's face it, man, and that's why we love him, is blue collar people. Like think of Black Sabbath. Yeah, from the hood. So there is a little bit of that. I wanna be respected thing, because it's not about. This is my own conjecture, okay? But I think because it happens to everybody, man, and it's something that I feel I get you. I understand. Because I think even though they reach fame using Black Sabbath, they top of the game.
Yeah.
I can sure people still look down on them.
You think so?
Yeah.
Why?
Certain kind of people.
Yeah. Well,
You're still plebs.
there's gonna be certain kind of people that are gonna look down on anything.
Yeah, but dude, I'm talking about not haters. I'm not discussing haters. I'm talking about people who elitist. And I mind that those guys, or someone like Black Sabbath again. I'm not saying that they went through it. It's just using this as a metaphor. There is that need, man, of proving, not to the world, to themselves, that look, I could do it, and to me, to prove it to myself. I'm not a peasant.
Yeah.
Is that? It's something that is personal, and I think it comes from a place of good, man. Just when you don't have the tools to use it correctly or take it to the right end, falls flat.
Yeah.
Because it's not trying to look like, look, I'm a gangster with bitch. No, it's not that. It's not that, because picking Black Sabbath again, they had money since a good chunk of time.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that. Speaking of which, would you see them?
With an orchestra, Black Sabbath?
No.
Don't think so.
But interestingly enough, I think they have better chances for pulling it off than Metallica. Why?
Why?
Some of their music is a little bit more, even this is slower, but that helps. But also, the chord progressions and the way that the music develops is a little bit more orchestral-like. Think of War Pigs and Symphony of the whatever. I always mix it with Megadeth.
Okay.
Symphony of Destruction, but Symphony of the Universe. That could work.
You see that Black Sabbath, what makes Black Sabbath, there's some sound elements that make Black Sabbath, like the guitar tone and stuff like that. I feel that if it was way too clouded by the presence of an orchestra, for instance, it will feel like less Black Sabbath.
But look, I wouldn't like to have the songs with Dio being played with an orchestra.
Mm.
Those wouldn't work. But the old stuff, the slower, sludgier, kind of dirgy sounding, that could work, man. There's some tracks that have potential for them to be pulled off correctly, in a non-intrusive way, because the band itself, the orchestration of the band is very, very much kind of classically oriented, man. Quite a lot, man. Particularly in those older records.
Yeah.
Because once Dio joined, the music became damn, but it's less. It becomes way more intense, and I think that would while the original music, the older stuff is slightly more spaced out, allowing for more interactions between the band and the orchestra. With Dio, think of the Mob Rules. What a good song.
The thing that the Mob Rules is way too badass.
Yes,
it's way too
rock and roll, man.
And it's fast as well. It's not a slow song.
And look, it's not being fast or not. The thing is that rock music, when it goes fast, it goes way too fast.
Yeah.
For the orchestra to, and it's not that the orchestra can play fast. They could, I think they could play very much faster than a rock band. But it doesn't. It's different ways of speed.
Yeah. I get you.
Yeah.
Now that you brought Dio into the conversation, Rainbow. What do you think? Rainbow with an orchestra?
No.
You don't think so? I think the music allows for it.
No. Because Stargazer, yes. Gates of Babylon, yes. Guys Rainbow, no.
Rainbow in the Dark.
That's
Dio. That's Dio.
Kill the King, yes.
Kill the King could be very cool.
I would like, and that's fast. But because that one sounds, he's doing the fast thing, but in an orchestral way. That's why, like, I can see that.
Yeah.
I would like.
But you know why I don't feel exactly leaning towards it working? Because we saw Deep Purple did not working.
Yeah. And it's Richie Blackmore again.
Yeah. No, and look, Richie Blackmore and the entirety of Deep Purple has quite a lot of classical influence.
I don't know, 100%.
A lot.
100%.
And a lot of the stuff is actually neoclassical, like rock and roll neoclassical. But the show that they did with I think it was the London Orchestra.
Yeah, I think it was. Well, it's the one that everybody uses.
Yeah, and it didn't really work.
No.
And it was one that actually, when I saw, okay, Deep Purple with an orchestra, that can be awesome. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
But the show didn't really deliver.
No, it's because I think it's that it's way too rock and roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that makes the correlation between both elements not necessarily effective. But then, if we go even more evil, freaking Dimmu Borgir, that works.
You think so?
It does. Death Cult to Armageddon, the entire thing is with an orchestra. The badass album, totally listen to it. And I know for those of you who are purists, that's a solo. Yeah, it is. But it's great. It is great. And if you want to go a bit more in that route, also listen to Septic Flesh. Badass. That thing is also full on orchestral, the entire thing. And you know why? Because the music, the metal band, and the orchestra are written at the same time. For both.
Okay.
The music is, if you listen to Dimmu Borgir's Death Cult to Armageddon, it's meant to be played with a freaking orchestra.
It's written like that.
It's written like that. Because it since
That's
the
the
beginning.
way. That's the way.
And you used to like the beginning, what was the name? Progenies of the apocalypse. That's a
So freaking over the top.
Badass. But when you press play and do just that one, like, what? Yeah, it's your expression, man, because for real, every time that I play that track to anybody, as soon as they say, dun, 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 like, the hell, yeah, this is badass. Because you won't believe how good it is until you listen to it. Because me being the over-skeptical guy when it comes to orchestra and rock bands, those guys, and Septic Flesh, they do it in an even more, I wouldn't say more complex fashion, but they do it in a much more elegant, more sophisticated fashion. They're both of them death metal, full-on death metal, but the symphonic element, they took it seriously, because we truly write symphonic music, because we need a symphonic orchestra to play these bad boys. And fantastic. I recommend listening to the track by Septic Flesh to get into them, Anubis. That song is fantastic. The it was like that, like, oh yeah, and it feels like old gods, like Cthulhu.
Cthulhu-like.
Yeah. It feels
entities.
it feels like ancient, also kind of evil, but lurking, and no. It sounds, it sounds quite. Reminds me of what's the name of this guy? The guy with the planets. Oh, it's a composer. I will come back to me, but it sounds like his music. It's like this. Yeah, it sounds like that. It sounds full on orchestra.
Okay, so I think we're getting closer to the end of the conversation.
Yeah.
If you had to pick one band for you to have the opportunity to see them performing live with an orchestra, what band would you pick?
Besides these two guys that I already mentioned,
somebody
those
that
guys work. Those guys I know.
No,
Yeah.
No, talking about somebody hypothetical that has never worked with an orchestra or that you don't know.
He hasn't have to have worked with one.
Yeah, no, thinking of on the hypothetical scenario.
Because I would put my money before you mentioned that particular premise on Dream Theater, because I know that it works. And Oranges, but
those are already tried and true. I'm talking about hypothetical.
Peter Gabriel.
Do you think that he would write for the orchestra?
Peter Gabriel would do it.
Yeah, it would work. It would work because he would write for it.
No, even the older stuff, man. His stuff like already like some of it would work easily, man. And since the guy is very, very nerdy, I can assure you the guy like nah, you're in the way of my music. I can assure he will be right there on the neck of the composer. So that guy would be my pick.
Okay.
Do you have any?
I'm thinking here
As
because
good as this one?
Well, look, not as good as this one, but seeing, for instance, how successful the implementation was with Dream Theater, I would be willing to give it a chance to Symphony X. I think it could be interesting. I think that Symphony X is heavier.
It's a good pick.
I think it could be, depending on the implementation, if they did it as right as Dream Theater did, it could be awesome.
Symphony X, for those of you who don't know, is a fantastic prog metal band with plenty of orchestral elements, hence the name.
Yeah.
But they do it in a very... They're heavy as balls, man.
Yeah.
But the singer's the band is excellent.
You
gotta listen.
Excellent.
You gotta listen to him. The thing is that they got the Odyssey. That thing alone, requires an orchestra.
Yeah, but that will pay for the show already.
No, man, if I had the chance to see him performing just that song, but with the real deal,
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the issue is that fantastic song, one of the best songs ever written, and I'm not trying to be on the hard pebble in this one. It truly is a fantastic piece of music.
Yeah.
And it has one big problem. It was produced in the early 2000s, and with no budget whatsoever. So the piece opens with a fantastic fanfare
of MIDI.
Fake instruments, fake orchestra.
Yeah.
So it sounds like an early 2000s high-end synthesizer that you use for live shows. But it doesn't make the cut for a recording.
Yeah, with an actual orchestra will be incredible.
But if you ignore that and you listen to the beautiful arrangement that is, because it opens, it's 4 minutes of an opener.
Yeah.
And it's done with orchestra and drums.
And beautiful.
Jesus Christ, it's
The
fantastic.
composition is excellent.
Beyond belief, man. Then the incorporation of the guitars during that introduction. Wow. Wow. It's fantastic, and the resolution of the introduction, dragging you into the first movement of the piece with the acoustic guitar and the voice.
Yeah.
No, for real. Listen to that one. You're gonna like, wow.
And if any of you, by any chance, any of you watching this video is actually a very, very loaded philanthropist, just go throw money at Symphony X and make it happen.
Yes, please. We should start a GoFundMe. We'll go nowhere, man. Because nobody will give a damn.
But it'll be awesome.
It would be fantastic. That's actually a good pick, because a good chunk of their music would properly work with it, because the Divine Wings of Tragedy, full on. Evolution,
yeah. Even though that's a very hard-hitting song, it's very badass, but it'll be freaking awesome.
That moment.
Yeah,
because the orchestra will be playing with the lower register, the cellos and the basses will be playing the riff, and the will be with
that could be awesome.
Oof.
So yeah, philanthropists over there, over the world, make it happen.
Yeah, please do. So with that being said, thank you for joining, thank you for watching. If you want to support this channel, the best way to do it is by, of course, following us on Instagram and X. because that's the best way for you to get in touch with us in a much more personal basis. And also, we'll be coming back to Discord, the link in the description down below. We've been away from it because this has been very, very incredibly busy weeks, the last 2 weeks and a half.
And messy.
Very, very messy. Not necessarily busy, messy.
Yeah.
But we'll be back to get the conversation going. So, as usual, as every single time we do, the only thing left to remind is that you should never let anybody tell you what to dream about. Remember that we will see you when we see you.